Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's update on Tropical Storm Karl. So, Tropical Storm Karl, as of 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Wednesday, October the 12th, has maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 1,002 millibars, and is creeping north at 2 miles per hour. Looking at the key messages for Tropical Storm Karl, heavy rainfall could produce instances of flash flooding, with mudslides in areas of higher terrain across portions of Veracruz and Tabasco states in Mexico. Tropical storm conditions are possible in the watch area in Mexico beginning on Friday. And then for my friends in Mexico, uh, uh, you can pause the video and read the key messages in Spanish if you'd like. Looking at the satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Karl, Tropical Storm Karl is dealing with a little bit of westerly wind shear on the north side. As you can see, the clouds are blowing from west to east. The center is pretty well put together as we have a solid core of convection, but the majority of the storms are to the east of the center, as the center is right about here, as Karl is dealing with that westerly wind shear. And looking at the wind shear map, Karl's dealing with about 20 to 30 knots of westerly wind shear, which is going to luckily prohibit it from strengthening much more than it currently is. Now, looking at the official cone for Tropical Storm Karl, Tropical Storm Karl is expected to make a 180 change in direction by overnight tonight, and it's going to start moving south. And by 1 p.m. Thursday, it'll be moving south across the south central Gulf. And by 1 p.m. Friday, Karl will be approaching the northern southern edge of the Gulf Coast, and it's looking like we could be having a landfall late Friday night, Saturday morning, around the northern area of the southern coast of Mexico, right about here. We have tropical storm watches in effect for the yellow areas right along here. And then Karl is expected to weaken and dissipate Saturday afternoon over south central Mexico. Looking at the spaghetti model plots, as you can see, Karl is going to take its time to get towards the Mexican coast, as most models indicate landfall within the next 72 to 96 hours. And looking at the intensity guidance models, Tropical Storm Karl is expected to maintain its strength through about the next 48 hours and then slowly weaken over the next 48 to 84 hours before its landfall. So by the time we are seeing landfall, Tropical Storm Karl is likely going to have winds of between 50 and 60 miles per hour. Looking at the rainfall accumulations for Karl across south central Mexico, as the key message is stated, we could be dealing with a little bit of flooding, as the European model is putting widespread 2 to 4 inches in these red and maroon areas across south central Mexico. And looking at the GFS model is also putting about 2 to 4 inches across south central southeast Mexico, with isolated locations receiving up to 5 to 6 inches. So we could be dealing with some flooding across southeastern Mexico. So make sure you are preparing for that if you live in south central and southeastern Mexico. So thanks for watching this afternoon's update on Tropical Storm Karl. I'll continue to update you guys on Karl until he makes landfall. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening, my friends.